Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, by popular demand, we're back at it again with the Entitled Aunt stories. Yes, the same CPS calling Entitled Aunt from Tuesday's story. So, check that one out if you missed it. So let's see what else Aunt Karen got up to. My father buys my old laptop off me after my entitled aunt demands I give it to her. Yes, this is the same entitled aunt that called CPS on my father because he refused to co-sign for her to get a new car. This event happened in 2016 and is a much lighter story than the first one, but still entitled nonetheless. I bought a new laptop because even though the old one was only 1 year old, it didn't perform the way I wanted it to. I don't know how my aunt found out that I got a new laptop, but she did. Anyway, a few days after I got my new computer, entitled aunt, quote unquote, volunteered to pick up my younger sister from her high school track practice. When they arrived at the house, EA came in alongside my sister and gave me a, "Hi sweetie, I heard you got a new laptop. What are you planning on doing with the other one?" I sighed, "Well, I'm not done transferring the files over to the new one yet, but I'm planning on keeping it around just in case." She immediately asks, "Can I have it?" I was pretty taken back that she would just ask for a basically brand new laptop like that, and honestly, all I could come up with was no. She just huffed and pulled the whole, "But we're family," followed by, "I'll be talking to your dad about it." As soon as my aunt left, I sent my dad a text explaining how she wanted my laptop, but I didn't want to just give it to her entitled ass. He agreed. After dinner, my aunt stopped by again because my sister left a pen in her car and she wanted to drop it off, which was obviously a huge load of bull. My aunt goes, "So, OP, are you done with your old laptop now?" I told her, "No, I'm not." She then turned to my father, "Do you believe that? She won't give me her old computer when she has a new one. She doesn't need two, and I need one." My father replied, "Why should OP have to give you her spare laptop? It's hers. She gets to decide what to do with it. Maybe if you offer to buy it off her, that'd be a different story." My aunt goes, "You're her father. Can't you just make her give it to me? I should be offered it for free because we're family." "I will not make her do anything. Actually, come to think of it, wife and I were planning on buying it off of her because her younger sister's laptop just broke." "You're going to buy it from her?" "Yup. She bought it with her own money, so it's only fair. I don't expect it for free just because we're family." My father then turned to me, "OP, how much did you pay for your other laptop?" "Well, it was $300 when I bought it." My father took out his wallet and said, "Would you take $100 for the laptop?" I replied, "Absolutely. I'll give you the family discount." My father hands me 5 $20 bills, turns to my aunt and says, "Well, that settles it. I own the laptop now, and I'm going to be giving it to my youngest. So now you can't have the laptop and have no reason to be here. Bye, sis." My aunt then turned in a huff and walked out without another word. Go dad! Clearly he got his no-nonsense attitude from Granny, and I'm living for it. I love that he threw the dreaded, "But we're family" logic back in her face. How glorious. But let's move on to the second entitled aunt story, where Aunt Karen dates an escaped convict. Entitled aunt unknowingly dates an escaped convict. Fed up Italian grandma brings him down. Yes, I have yet another entitled aunt story, since everyone seems to want to hear more about the dumpster fire. The story I'm about to tell is especially dumpster fiery, and I will admit that my aunt is kind of the victim in this story, but honestly, that's her karma. I don't exactly remember what year this happened. I want to say it was around 2012. So I was in my 20s. Buckle up, it's a wild ride, and going to be a long one. So, in the autumn several years ago, my aunt starts seeing this guy she met online, and they hit it off. At Thanksgiving dinner, he asked my grandmother for permission to live with my aunt for a while, giving a rather rehearsed sob story about his wife recently divorcing him and taking his 2 kids. He had also lost his job not long before, and he just needed a place to crash for a while to get his feet back on the ground. My grandmother was hesitant, but after a lot of whining and pining from my aunt, she agreed. While the guy was nice and seemed pretty down to earth, I couldn't help but feel like there was something off about him. He was a good 15 years younger than my aunt and was the stark opposite of her in nearly every way, and honestly, I couldn't figure out what he saw in her. He came for dinner on Thanksgiving and kept weirdly asking my brother and I about the video game systems we owned and if we had our own computers. I didn't answer, but my younger brother was like, OP and I have our own Xbox 360. I have a Nintendo Wii, and OP is hoping to get a PS3 for Christmas. I don't blame my brother for answering. It led to a short conversation about what kind of video games we like to play. So, to everyone but me, it seemed innocent enough. I then caught him kind of snooping around while looking for the bathroom while everyone else was playing cards in the kitchen. And now, I really didn't trust him. He came over again on Christmas Eve, and since they would all be coming over before I got off work, and because of the snooping incident, I locked my bedroom door before I left. When I got home from work, the first thing I got asked was, OP, why is your bedroom door locked? My boyfriend wanted a tour of the house. Not wanting to outright say I didn't trust the guy and cause drama, as I was just going off instinct and didn't have proof that this guy was up to no good, I replied, oh, I haven't wrapped the gifts I bought for everyone yet. I didn't have time to hide them before I left for work. I also just don't want people going in my room when I'm not home. Later in the night, I caught him trying to go into my parents' room. I asked him, what are you doing? He said, trying to find the bathroom, which was utter bull. There were 4 rooms and a coat closet down our hallway. The only room with an open door was the bathroom. Plus, he already gave that excuse at Thanksgiving. I'll give you a pass the first time, but you're not getting the benefit of the doubt twice. So I told him, you already passed it. It's the only room with an open door. That's my parents' room. And since the door is closed, they don't want anyone going in there. Now, I suggest you stop trying to get into our rooms before I tell my grandmother and parents that you're snooping around. Once he went off to the bathroom, I locked the other 2 bedroom doors, just in case. The rest of the evening went off without incident. When everyone left, my dad realized the doors were locked. He asked me, OP, why are the bedroom doors locked? I told him, because I caught Aunt's boyfriend trying to get into your room. And it's not the first time either. I caught him snooping around on Thanksgiving as well. My dad's eyes widened, and let's just say, Aunt's boyfriend wasn't allowed over for New Year's. My aunt was so furious that she refused to come over. If my boyfriend isn't allowed over, then I'm not coming over either. It was the most peaceful family gathering we had had in years. A few weeks after New Year's, the guy started doing some questionable things, like taking my aunt's car without permission and showing up at my grandmother's house unannounced. My grandmother had forbidden him from entering her house after a family heirloom went missing, and my father told her what he had done on Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve. My grandma would go to a local senior center to play bingo every Tuesday morning, and the guy knew this. Well, one particular Tuesday, he took my aunt's car without asking and drove it to my grandmother's house. However, on that particular Tuesday, my grandmother thankfully hadn't gone to play bingo as she had had a doctor's appointment. She returned home before her usual time to see my aunt's car in the driveway. My grandmother knew my aunt wouldn't be visiting at this time, so she quietly entered her house and found the guy rummaging through her jewelry. My grandmother flipped and started whacking the guy with the ironing cutting board she kept in her room. And despite her being 83 years old and barely 5 feet tall, she's a feisty Italian woman. So she managed to barricade the guy in a linen closet while she called the cops. He was promptly arrested for grand theft auto. My grandmother told the cops that he had stolen my aunt's car, as well as breaking and entering. The police ran his information, and that was when we found out that he had been on the run after escaping the state prison 2 years earlier. My aunt threw the mother of all temper tantrums when she found out that my grandmother had the love of her life arrested. Turns out, the guy had been using a fake name while preying on gullible older women on online dating websites, living with them for a while, stealing anything of value, then would disappear without warning when the woman got suspicious. The guy got thrown back in prison on a whole slew of charges and won't be eligible for parole until 2042. My aunt didn't talk to anyone in the family for an entire year. It was peaceful. Well, that'll make you want to try online dating. What I've learned from watching 90 Day Fiancé is that online scams are very common. I mean, usually it's just green card scams or hot young woman / man preying on an older mate so they can have their rent paid. But I have no doubt that escaped convicts / convicts that just got released from prison do this too. Actually, that's a show too, called Love After Lockup. No, this video is not sponsored by TLC, but TLC, my guilty pleasure in trash TV. Actually, I don't even have cable, so I get the tea from Cinnamon Toast Ken. Anyone else watch Cinnamon Toast Ken? I've been watching his channel since like 2013. I found him through PewDiePie. The good old days of YouTube, where everyone just did gaming playthroughs. Fun times. Anyway, my ADHD strikes again. I hope you enjoyed these entitled aunt stories. I have 2 more for you tomorrow involving this aunt, as well as OP's other aunt on her mom's side. So that'll be fun. Please leave a like and subscribe if you want. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!